Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. Art is something I've always been fascinated with. Every person's view of what constitutes art is different, and there's so many different types out there. Personally, I like to play with pottery, wheel throwing, stuff like that. But on this show, I want to focus on the two-dimensional arts: paintings, drawings, prints, and photography. I recently came across the work of a man named Carl Everett Johnson. Carl Everett is a painter and a photographer, and he likes to use Japanese paper, or washi.
Well, the fibers of these washi are different than conventional photo papers, you see. They can adopt the materials you put on it in another way, but that's not possible with conventional photo papers. And then there are different kinds of Japanese papers, but some can be very difficult to work with, but it could be worth it to try these.
What Carl Everett has discovered is that digitally printing photographs on Japanese paper can yield tremendous results, especially if you're a photographer interested in experimenting with some new methods.
And it's not so complicated. I mean, there are many facilities to use all these photo programs, you see, to change your pictures. But for me, it's more art to do it with my pigments or my way of treating these Japanese papers.
In his book, Using Japanese Paper for Digital Printing of Photographs, he writes, "One issue in modern photography is that we have become accustomed to how photographs should look. Now, this can be overcome with the described techniques in this book. The washi prints may look uncommon, unnatural, or sometimes abstract, depending on the selection of photographs and pigments. The described technique enables the possibility of experimenting and choosing the procedure which corresponds to one's aesthetic opinion. The aim has been to produce pictures that are not so much beautiful as interesting and worthy of attention." So the resulting print is not going to look like a typical photo, which is the point here, right? So I guess the question is, why did he choose to do it this way?
Well, I was astounded with some of the results, and I wanted to go into it more deeply. That's what it was. And it just happened that I had used this paper for painting on. And then I said, why not use these for my photographs? And it worked.
Some of the world's greatest breakthroughs can be attributed to happy accidents. The key is to not be afraid to try new things. Experiment, push the boundaries of your particular art. You never know what'll happen. Carl Everett's technique involves letting the washi fibers give a softer result to the photographs. It can be tricky to control and the results are unpredictable, but that's really all part of the fun. The softness comes from the Japanese paper, or washi, because it's more absorbent than Western papers, so the ink appears integrated rather than sitting on the printed surface. If you want to give it a try, all you need is a computer, a printer, some washi, your photos, and a copy of Carl Everett's book, Using Japanese Paper for Digital Printing of Photographs. It's available now at Amazon.com or at AuthorHouse.com, and there's a link to it right in the show's description. And that will do it for another edition of Newsgram from WebTalkRadio.com.